What's up, people? I'm Shaggy, the opinionated hippie. This is my third ranking of the Kinks songs. My first video, which is my all-time favorite Kinks Top 10, after I made it, I realized that none of the songs were released after 1971. So in order not to ignore 2 decades of Kinks songdom, I then made a second list which only featured songs, or featured only songs, and pretty much only featured songs also, that were released after 1971. But both of those lists were comprised solely of material that were on officially released studio albums. The Kinks have a lot of ridiculously fantastic stuff that was released on singles, B-sides of singles, random compilations, probably all came from singles anyways, other kind of stuff. Recent years, some of that stuff first popped up on some bonus tracks on CDs and stuff like that. So this is the list of stuff that is not on their officially released studio albums, at least as they were released here in the States. Some of these songs are as good as songs on the other two lists. Definitely as good as songs on the second list, the 70s list. Some of these songs would even make an all-time top 10 list. So yeah, I'm just going to go through them all. And then at the end, I will put the list up there on the screen for you visual learners. Those are my hands, my fingerprints. And then you can look at the list. And I highly recommend everybody check these songs out if you haven't heard them, or if you're a Kinks fan, not a Kinks fan, check them out anyways, and maybe you'll be a Kinks fan. So anyways, yeah. How do we get through Kinks from Zappa? Lots of ways, not really, but King Kong. They both have a song named King Kong. We're going with that one. All right. Number 10, a recent release of an old song. This was on the Lola Box 40th anniversary release, right? The 40th anniversary Lola release. There was a bonus track called The Follower Dash Anytime 2020. Came out in 2020. The 40th anniversary release. 50th anniversary release. 2020. Yeah. And 50th anniversary release. And so apparently Anytime is a song that was originally supposed to be recorded. And I don't believe it was ever recorded, but it was written and was intended to be recorded and put on the B-side of Ape Man. That never happened. So in 2020, during the COVID lockdown, Ray was like, hey, I got this song I never recorded. I'm going to record it and release it. The song is fantastic. The song is absolutely amazing. But Ray didn't just release the song. And that's why, even though I put this on the list, I don't know how I feel about it. Because what he did was, he made it like a little epic movie. Like, really, it's like a movie. You have snatches of other songs from Lola, right? So you put it in the context of Lola. Even starts off with the Contenders, the little acoustic part. I think we even get a Lola reference at some point. Get a little Money Go Round in there. Then we go into the song proper. And once the song proper hits, there's a main guitar line that is fantastic. Absolutely amazing. We get some poetry. There's a female spoken word artist who's kind of doing some poetry, not really, kind of just calmly reciting it, not too dramatic, but it's definitely a performance of this sort of poem describing, like, sounds like a London city scene maybe, or something like that. I kind of check out on the poetry. But then we get the song itself, and the song itself is incredible. It kind of sounds like, I think it's kind of a sad song. I think it's about how nobody sees me anytime, or it's kind of about being alone on the streets or being alone in life. And it almost feels like Strangers might have been a response to this, or this might have been a response to Strangers. Like lyrically, musically, it would have fit really, really well on Lola, even with this sort of 2020 updated version. But then we get some of the song, and then we get more poetry, and then we get more of the song. I think we get more snatches of the Lola album. So it's a really, really interesting little listen. But buried within that listen is this original Anytime song from 1970, which is a really, really good song. Has a really nice melodic hook, some good lyrics that would have fit in there perfectly. So I really don't know if it's a top 10 song, but it intrigues me, it fascinates me, and on the completely off chance that Ray Davis is watching this, if you have more songs, or any artist, if you have songs in the vault and you just don't want to like perform them, record them as you wrote them, and you want to do something different, do this. Because I still get to hear what that original song was. And yes, there's all these other sort of trappings around it, but I don't care. It's a very, very intriguing listen. And it's on the Lola 50th anniversary box set or re-release. So check it out. I think it's a really, really interesting listen. Number 9, Nobody's Fool. Another little interesting listen. This is a demo from the Muswell Hillbillies sessions. It's on the Muswell Hillbillies re-release. When I first heard it, it's pretty much a piano driven. I think there's an acoustic guitar in there, but it's a nice little almost Elton John-ish, maybe Paul McCartney-ish kind of, but like a piano ballad. It's kind of sad again. It would have fit perfectly like at the end of Muswell Hillbillies where like Oklahoma Sun is. It has that kind of like slow vibe, kind of tender, a little more solemn, but a really nice little simple, straightforward song. And this is only the demo. I don't think there's a full release version of it. But the demo is like 2.5 minutes long, and it's enough of a gem. It's easily the highlight of all, I think, the Muswell Hillbillies like extras that were released on that release. But it's also just a really nice little song. The rest of these are all just songs that were released on B-sides or singles. Number 8, I'm Not Like Everybody Else. Really good early song. With the singer just proclaiming to not like everybody else. I think I actually might have first heard this song. Camper Von Beethoven covered it. It's on their Camper of Antiquities release. It was also a B-side or a single or something they just put out on like a little 7-inch or something. But yes, it's just a really good. Again, who was writing songs like this back in the 60s other than Ray? Like, I'm not like everybody else, man. I'm different. I'm not like you. I don't do anything like anybody else does. I'm my own person. Like, respect me for that. I don't know. It's a song that I think had the Kinks not been like banned from America for like half a decade, this seems like a song that would have just resonated with so many people. It is such a good song lyrically and musically. The band sounds great. Just a really good song. Number 7, Plastic Man. This is Ray going down the Frank Zappa Plastic People tunnel hole, talking about a plastic man with all of his plastic stuff. And I love the chorus. I think the last line in the chorus is his plastic legs go up to his plastic bum. It's like a little jaunty, a little more upbeat number. But like Ray is fully committed. Like it's just plastic for verses and plastic for choruses. And we go plastic food. We go plastic, all of his plastic body parts. We are hard in on the plastic. But again, it's like that Frank Zappa commentating on people and just being plastic and not real, and that whole vibe. You couple this with The Graduate and the guy giving the advice to go into plastics. It's all a really, really interesting picture of the late 60s. Zappa's Plastic People, Plastic Man by the Kinks, The Graduate. Those three are of something. There's an essay, a narrative essay in there somewhere on those three. Number 6, another song that if you're not listening to the lyrics, you're like, oh yeah, this is a jaunty little number. Did you see his name in the morning papers? But then he was in the criminal section, and then he was in the obituary. So it's a little sort of, I guess, a morality tale. Not even a morality tale, because I'm not sure what the moral is. But this guy who shoplifts like some produce, something small from a corner grocery store, nothing big, gets caught. His name goes in the paper with his name and his address, by the way. Life after that becomes too hard because he gets fired from his job because his boss reads the paper. And so in the last line, he kills himself in a gas-filled masonette. He just ends up committing suicide. And did you see his name in the local obituary, in the obituary papers, whatever they say? Yeah, just this really depressing little number, but the music, again, is so kind of sounds upbeat, but it's very sort of quirky 60s psych pop. Just really another classic Ray Davies song. Number 5, Dave makes the list with Susanna Still Alive. Just this great opening riff that gets repeated throughout. Really good lyrics about Susanna, who's just kind of lonely. She sleeps at night with her bed covers open, hoping that someone will crawl in. Whiskey and Rye are her go-tos. I think it's Whiskey and Rye, right? Just these really sort of depressing little numbers about like real people, like these really good character driven songs about like people and their suffering and how hard it is to like find love, find employment, find happiness, find comfort, find success, anything in the modern age. And Dave's doing well, and it's got a really nice dun 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 jazzy kind of upbeat little riff that goes throughout it. This was a song I first heard on a Kinks compilation back in like early 90s, and it was a bunch of bands that were like B tier, C tier indie rock acts, and somebody covered this in like a ska version. It's a great ska song. But yeah, really good song by Dave. Susanna's Still Alive, number 5. Number 4, Father Christmas. Yeah, I can't resist the song. The drumming, especially the guitar playing, the message. Another one of those songs, if you're not listening closely to the lyrics, you're thinking it's an anti-Christmas song. Father Christmas, give us your money. We'll beat you up if you make us annoyed. Give all the toys. It's like this, like, we don't want your toys, Father Christmas. But then it's all about these poor kids. Oh, and then again, like every good Ray song, there's almost a throwaway line, like, like 3/4 through the lyrics where like you think the song is about one thing, and then there's a line like, can you give my daddy a job because he needs one? Oh, he's got hungry mouth to feed, or something mouth to feed. Never really sure what that line is. I want to say he always got plastic mouths to feed, but that doesn't make any sense. So I'm looking up that lyric right now because I keep meaning to look up that lyric. Give my father a job because he needs one. He's got mouths to feed. He's got, where is that line? He's got lots of mouths. It doesn't say like he's saying lots of mouths. He's got lots of mouths to feed. Yeah. All right, but whatever. But again, it's a song about like, hey man, Christmas is maybe like, don't just give toys. These people don't need toys. They need a job. They need food. They need like comfort. They need like to know that they're not going to die tomorrow because of things. Like, give the toys to little rich boys and maybe actually help people who need help in the Christmas time. I don't know. I like it. I like the song. I like the energy. I like the music. I think had the lyrics been about something completely different, I would still love the song because I think musically it's one of their best little rockers. And they incorporate sort of Christmas vibes in it very well with that opening part. Yeah. Number 4, Father Christmas. Number 5, Preservation, the single that was not on the album Preservation Act 1, kind of tells the story. Again, I haven't followed, I didn't pay close attention to that story anytime I've listened to it, but I don't know if it's like, this is how we got to the point where the album starts, or it's an actual encapsulation of the entire album, but it's got this really weird, kind of slow, funky vibe, really nice organ part comes in that gives it a whole energy. Ray's singing sounds great, everything about this song, but it's just got this really neat sort of slow funk groove. I don't want to say funk because the Kinks aren't ever really funky, but it's got some nice strut about it, sort of a nice little heavy glam rock strut about it that is really good. I think that album, Preservation Act 1, would be ranked much higher for a lot of people if instead of being a single, this was the opening track, and then it went from there because I think it sets up the story incredibly well. But it is a really good song. It was released on the Preservation Act 1 re-release of like 5-10 years ago or so, or something like that. But it is one of the bonus tracks. Excellent, excellent song. Number 2, who'll be the next in line? Who'll be the next in line for heartache? Who'll be the next in line to love over you? But again, another one of those songs, and it's about heartache. And it's about like, what other poor soul is just gonna like, are you gonna like lure into your like web of romance only to like get bored and like move on months later? A very, kind of honest, not too romantic song, almost like a Zappa song. It seems like had the music been a little bit different, that possibly could have been on Freak Out. I think it's almost in line with some of the lyrics on there. But the band on this, just the music, it is just, it's not really rock. It's kind of this weird psych folk, weird Kinks rock, but it's just such a nice little tight drive, and the grooves are so tight. And again, like any Ray song, you have these different pockets of melodies that pop up throughout. So the scenery is always kind of not dramatically changing, but just kind of slightly changing direction and giving you something more another interesting earworm to just kind of hook into your brain for the rest of the day. Just a phenomenal, underrated. I don't know if it is underrated. I think most people like this song. But if you haven't heard Who'll Be the Next in Line, you got to check out that song. And my number 1 favorite Kinks non-album track, Autumn Almanac. Just a perfect song. Like from the opening acoustic guitar intro with just such a full fat acoustic sound, and then just the rest of the instruments come in. You got these incredible lyrics, the vocals, the harmonies, again the sort of shifting melodic pockets that Ray goes through. Just like a perfect song that best kind of captures everything that Something Else and Village Green and even kind of Face to Face brought. It's just all of the energy of those three just put into another just perfect little ball of absolute perfection. Autumn Almanac. But yeah, those are them right there. My 10 favorite non-studio album Kinks songs. Amazing band. Amazing band, people. Go check them out if you haven't. Check out these songs or watch the other videos and check out those songs. But that's all I got for you today. Thanks for watching. I appreciate your time. Subscribe, like, share, comment, and most importantly, go listen to music. Go listen to all the music, people. Peace. Take care.